Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 18, Text 12. Prayers by the residents of Jambudvip. And these particular prayers are by Prahlad Maharaj. This is Prahlad after he had his own kingdom, after his father was liberated. Prahlad took over management. So this is grown up Prahlad as a responsible adult. His prayers. So he is glorifying the I think this is Prahlad speaking. Let's go back a verse or two and see who's. This might be Sukadev. Let's see. Let's see who's actually speaking here. Give it a second. Oh, yeah, this is Prahlad. And at this point, he's glorifying the Lord, but now he's actually glorifying the pure devotees. Prahlad was born in a family of demons, but when he was in the womb of his mother had taken shelter at Narada Muni's, of Narada Muni, taken shelter in the ashram there. And Narada enlightened her and the child within the womb, which was Prahlad. And when he heard the narrations and the messages of Godhead from the lips of the pure devotee Narada, even though he was still within the womb of his mother, he developed attraction for Krishna. Became a pure devotee by the association of Narada. So this is Prahlad, and he is praying. These are the prayers that he prays. On the different planets in the Jambudvip, or the different sections, the different parts of Jambudvip, different incarnations of the Lord are worshipped. Hayagriva is worshipped in one section, and here Nishingadev is worshipped. And this is Prahlad Maharaj's prayers to Nishingadev in this part of Jambudvip. So Prahlad says, all the demigods and their exalted qualities, such as religion, knowledge, and renunciation, become manifest in the body of one who has developed unalloyed devotion for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vyāsadeva. On the other hand, a person devoid of devotional service and engaged in material activities has no good qualities. Even if he is adept at the practice of mystic yoga or the honest endeavor for maintaining his family and relatives, he must be driven by his own mental speculations and must engage in the service of the Lord's external energy. How can there be any good qualities in such a man? And that's it right there. That's it right there. The mercy of the pure devotee is the pivot point, is the turning point. Without that mercy of the pure devotee, then the only recourse is to engage in the external energy, trying to use one's own steam, one's own intellect, one's own mental abilities, like this. You can never really make the connection with the devotional energy, because the devotional energy is always carried by a person. It's not just floating around out there, unembodied. The devotional energy is always embodied, not in a material body, in a spiritual body, until one makes a connection with that person who is embodying the devotional energy, and they can't make a connection with it. Because the devotional energy is personal energy, a person. Ultimately, expanding from Krishna himself, the Supreme Person. It's a very personal energy, which makes it different from the external energy, which is separated from Krishna and is floating around out there, separated from Krishna. It's under his control. It's his energy. He's controlling it through his different administrators, but it's not his personal energy. It remains separate from him. That personal dimension is only reflected through the external energy. Personal energy is not actually present there. So how can someone make a connection with the personal energy of the Lord? It has to be through a person. It's so simple that it escapes people, because conditioned souls are very attached to doing things and just thinking, wanting, they have that desire to not be subordinate to anyone, to be the controller, to solve all their own problems all by themselves, which it's an illusion, because even that intelligence that they're using, that they think is theirs, is coming from Krishna. But because of the illusion state, they're thinking that somehow they're separate, independent, and they try to find their happiness that way. So this is the great mercy of the pure devotee. And by reading this Bhagavatam as translated with these commentaries by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, we're getting the pure message through the pure devotee, which brings us into contact with the devotional person. And that's where the devotional energy is available, in that devotional person. So the verse again, and this is Prahlad Maharaj. All the demigods and their exalted qualities, such as religion, knowledge, renunciation, they become manifest in the body of one who's developed unalloyed devotion for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vāsadeva. Yeah, where are you going to find those things? They're in that person. They become manifest there. On the other hand, a person devoid of devotional service, engaged in material activities, has no good qualities. Even if he's adept at practice of mystic yoga or the honest endeavor of maintaining family and relatives, he's still driven by his own mental speculations and has to engage in the service of the Lord's external energy. That being the case, how can there be any good qualities in such a man? All good qualities are in devotional life. There are no good qualities outside of devotional life. There's only action and reaction, and the involvement in the three modes of material nature, identification with the body as the self, and the extension of the body, such as relatives, family, country, state, whatever. So, this is the wonderful significance of pure devotional service. And this is Prabhupada's commentary. As explained in the next verse, Krishna is the original source of all living entities. Excuse me. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, wherein Krishna says, Mabhai Vamsa Jivaloke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana Manakshashtan Indriyani Prakriti Stani Karshati. The living entities in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts. Due to conditioned life, they're struggling very hard with 6 senses, which include the mind. All living entities are part and parcel of Krishna. Therefore, when they revive their original Krishna consciousness, they possess all the good qualities of Krishna in small quantity. When one engages himself in the 9 processes of devotional service, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam, one's heart becomes purified, and he immediately understands his relationship with Krishna. He then revives his original quality of Krishna consciousness. In the Adi Lila of Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 8, there's a description of some of the qualities of devotees. For example, Sri Pandit Haridas is described as being very well behaved, tolerant, peaceful, magnanimous, grave. In addition, he spoke very sweetly, his endeavors were very pleasing, he was always patient, he respected everyone, and he always worked for everyone's benefit. His mind was free of duplicity, and he was completely devoid of all malicious activities. These are all originally qualities of Krishna. And when one becomes a devotee, they automatically become manifest. Yeah, that point here Prabhupada's making is that these qualities become manifest when one revives their Krishna consciousness. It's not that one endeavors separately to be peaceful or to be tolerant. They manifest automatically as one engages in devotional service and revives the Krishna consciousness. Why? Because these are the qualities of Krishna. And we, the Jiva souls, are part and parcel of Krishna. And in our pure state, we have the same qualities as Krishna, because we're part of Krishna. So when we revive our Krishna consciousness, all these qualities they manifest. They're not blocked by anything. And it's the natural state of when you're part of Krishna, part of God, that's the qualities, the same qualities as God. So, Sri Krishnadas Kaviraj, the author of Chaitanya Charitamrita, says, all good qualities become manifest in the body of a Vaishnava, and that only by the presence of these good qualities can one distinguish a Vaishnava from a non-Vaishnava. Okay, so how can you tell a Vaishnava? By the presence of these good qualities. How do they behave? How do they act? What is the quality of your experience with them? When you see their behavior, what is their behavior? Are they well behaved? Are they tolerant? Peaceful? Are they magnanimous and grave? Do they speak sweetly? Are their endeavors pleasing? Are they always patient? Do they respect everyone? Do they work for others' benefit? Are they free from duplicity? They don't engage in malicious activities. Oh, and You've got a Vaishnava there. You can tell by the qualities. So Krishnadas Kaviraj goes on to list 26 good qualities of a Vaishnava. So if we want to know who a Vaishnava is, they're going to have these qualities. First one is, he's very kind to everyone. Now everyone is also going to mean not just people, it's going to mean everyone, because everyone is part and parcel. The animals, the plants, the insects, they're all part of Krishna. So the Vaishnava is going to be very kind to everyone. 2, he does not make anyone his enemy. He doesn't see anyone as an enemy. He doesn't act toward anyone as if they were his enemy. This person is my enemy. No, he doesn't do that. 3, he's very truthful. Because he has no purpose other than to serve Krishna. And Krishna is the absolute truth. So he's going to be truthful. He's not going to be, he has no other ulterior motive for some endeavor he may be undergoing, which requires that he not tell somebody else the truth so he can get done what he needs to get done. No, because serving Krishna at every moment. Doesn't have any special endeavor he needs to do. What he needs to do is at every moment glorify Krishna. And Krishna is the absolute truth. So he's going to be truthful. He's equal to everyone. He's not going to be playing favorites. He's equal toward everyone. Because everyone is equal spiritually. We're all part and parcel of Krishna. So actually we're all equal. So we're going to be treating everyone equally. In that sense. Equal to everyone. Number 5, no one can find any fault in him. Wow. Wow. Because there are people who make it a point to try to find some fault in others. They have that very bad habit. And why do they do that? Why does someone try to find fault with someone? It gives an excuse to reject that person. It can reject them. And then also, if you find fault with someone, that means the mentality of the fault finder is that I'm better than they are. Look, they have this fault. I don't have to accept them in any way at all because they have these faults. But they can't find any fault in a Vaishnava. No one, even those that are expert at finding faults, can't find a fault in him. Yeah. Wow, that's big. Number 6, he's magnanimous, which means he's very big-hearted. He's very big-hearted, very generous with himself and with whatever facilities he may have. Whatever he has, whatever accumulated assets he may have, he uses for the welfare of others. And with his own personal affection or attention or consideration, he's very magnanimous. He gives of himself. Number 7, he's mild. Mild means he's not harsh. He's not harsh and aggressive toward others. He's mild. He's gentle. Mild. Which makes him easily approached. If someone is mild, they're easily approached also because they're gentle. They're not ready to defend whatever. They're just mild. They're not afraid of anything because they have the complete shelter of Krishna. What is there to be afraid of? Nothing. He's mild. 8, he's always clean. Yes, clean, nice and clean, inside and outside. Inside he's clean because his heart is pure, and the Lord himself is seated there and being worshipped there within the heart of that devotee, that Vaishnava, and also outside. The senses are not, he's not overly attached to sense enjoyment, which is very unclean. He's only accepting what he needs. So he's very clean in his behavior, his sensual behavior also. And clean, just clean, bathing nicely and keeping clean. The body is not his, doesn't belong to that devotee. He knows it's Krishna's body. He's had use of it for a while. And he's keeping it nice and clean. So he doesn't smell bad, isn't repulsive, bad odors and foul bodily presence. Nice and clean. 9, he is without possessions. Yes, he's not thinking this is mine. Now, it's not that he doesn't have, a person may have a lot of facilities. He may have use of a vehicle, or he may have use of land or a house, or he may have considerable accumulation of wealth, perhaps inherited, or maybe by his own sincere endeavor to maintain himself, the wealth has come. But he does not have possessions. He doesn't see them as his. Everything belongs to Krishna. He's managing those things, those assets, in Krishna's service. Well, this is mine. No, nothing is mine. Nirmama. I come into this world with nothing. I leave with nothing. And nothing is mine. 10, he works for everyone's benefit. Yes. He works for everyone's benefit. By working for Krishna, we work for everyone's benefit, because Krishna is the root of the big tree. So the consciousness is such that everything that he is doing, he's doing as an offering to Krishna. And in that way, he's benefiting everyone. And he may be working more directly by distributing prasadam or helping to maintain temple centers or serving the deity nicely so others can have darshan of the Lord in his deity form. He may be managing in a very formal way. And that is certainly working for everyone's benefit. Text 11, he's very peaceful. Peace. Everyone's looking for peace. Shanti, shanti. So the devotee is peaceful. He has no anxiety. He's worshiping the Lord of Vaikuntha. And the Lord of Vaikuntha is manifest within his heart. And the Vaishnava is very peaceful. He's not about to be stirring up difficulties. And if situations arise, he deals with them peacefully. He does the needful. There's no need for panic. He's peaceful and happy. 12, he's always surrendered to Krishna. Okay, so that means anytime we see this Vaishnava, he is surrendered to Krishna. in every situation, while eating, while sleeping, while bathing, while conducting business activities, whatever. He is always surrendered to Krishna, even in difficult situations. Maybe some health problem or some legal something is just a challenge, either for himself or a family member, whatever the situation. Severe weather, he's always surrendered to Krishna. 13, he has no material desires. Ah, what a wonderful place to be. The Vaishnav knows. See, Vaishnav, they're getting the mercy. They know where the real ecstasy is. It's no material desires. It's not that they have no desires. They have desire. Desire to please Krishna. They have desire to attract Krishna by their devotion. They have a desire to always have the shelter of the Lord's lotus feet through devotional service. It's not that they have no desires. They're filled with desires, but they're not material desires. They're spiritual desires. There's no more room for material desires because they're so filled with spiritual desire. There's no room. There's no attraction. There's no taste. What do I want with that? Because they're experiencing something so wonderful in the devotional service of the Lord, they don't want to spoil it. They don't want to do anything else. And they only want more and more and more. So they have no material desires. Gone. And there was no extra endeavor necessary for that. To reach that state of no material desires, it's not that they strove by so many difficult means to become liberated. For liberation, nah. Simply engage in devotional service of Krishna, liberation automatically comes, and so much more. So no more material desires. Not even the desire to be desireless. That's gone too. They don't desire to become desireless. They have nothing to do with material desires. So to become desireless is like death for a devotee. Who wants this? Like suicide. No, you want desires. You just want spiritual desires. So devotional desire for devotional service of the Lord.